Hey guys, welcome to another stream. We have a whole bunch of cherry charcuterie to get through. So we're going to just jump into it, flatten this stuff up so I can get it ready for the website so we get it listed, get it sold. But yeah. So if you are joining us after the live stream, these what you'll see here are available, and unless somebody's already snatched them up. But yeah, let's get into it. We're going to jump in with some cherry here. I might get into the walnut as well, but right now we've cut this one down. It has a little bit of a cup to it. It's not too bad, but so we're just shy of an inch and a half, so 6/4, and we've got about with the cup it goes up to about an inch and 5/8. So just a little bit that'll come off. This will still be a really thick slab. This is going to be fairly clear. There's just a couple of knots in it. Yeah, but no major splits or anything like that, at least that we can see on the surface. Looks like there should be some pretty cool quarter sawn grain that comes out. It's kind of hard to see through the rough, but I can kind of see it popping up. So let's see what we can get into and find out what this thing looks like. So even though it's not that big of a cup, I still want to support the center from moving a little bit, and that's why we're putting these wedges in. Do my best not to give myself another excuse me. No, just try not to give myself another little like piece of wood underneath, like a little splinter underneath my fingernail. I did that last time. My gosh, that was painful. All right, that looks pretty good. It's not moving, so I think we're ready to go ahead and lock it down. Now, I do like to put a clamp on here. I don't put a whole lot of pressure. This is more so just to keep it from sliding back and forth. These smaller pieces don't have a whole lot of weight, right? And so when you go to lock these things down, just the pressure from the screws can actually cause it to move a little bit. But we did get pretty lucky with this one. Even like after we cut it down, there's not a whole lot of wasn't a whole lot of twist to it, so it wasn't too bad to actually get this thing leveled out and wedged up. Yeah, it wasn't that bad at all. But we've had some really nice looking cherry come out of the slabs that we had left over. We had this is a kiln run, and most of the stuff was already snatched up. It wasn't exactly pre-bought, but I did have a buyer that was interested. And then after he took everything he wanted, we had another couple people come through, pick through it, and this is what was left over. And I think what happened is that when the slabs were long, we had some significant cracks in the slabs, and it's a big turnoff for people. They just don't want to deal with it. But if you cut down the center like this, cut that stuff off, now you got a decent looking slab. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit more marketable. So, I mean, this thing's basically ready to rock and roll. I'll turn the machine on. We'll make sure dust collection's good to go. I got my old hat. Yeah, let's go. Let's get at it. All right. All right, so let's raise this up. Just make sure that we're not going to take too deep of a pass. That should be more than plenty. All right, let's see what's going on here. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth stream. Uh-oh. Well, let's see if we can fix it. I think we're having issues with the video here, guys. All right, guys, so hopefully, what's up, Chris? Hey, buddy. Hey, let me know if you have any issues. I just got a notification saying that like the stream may be a little choppy, so I'm hoping I got the internet signal boosted here. But getting ready to do some cherry charcuterie boards, man. All right, what I like to do is I'll get fairly close. We'll see if we have to raise it up anymore. I might actually have to come down now. So I'm sighting down the slab. I'm looking for the high spot. That's going to be our reference, and then we'll start from there. Yeah, it looks like we could take a couple of turns down. Let's go back up. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good start point. All right, run through my mental checklist. Phase inverters on. Sanders raised. We've already aligned it. We got the height set. Ready for dust collection. Let's go ahead and get it cranked up. That's a fantastic spot. All right, guys, might be having a little bit of stream issues here. I'm not sure. Maybe my internet's not as strong as it was out here before, but I'll try to push through the best I can. Right now, we're just flattening up some cherry charcuterie boards. Man, that does such a good job. Such a good job of keeping that stuff flat. All right. Just using the clamp to keep it from moving on me. So we're going to do this side, and this one should be done after this. Then I'll grab the next board. We will continue on. Now, I've seen some people that they'll, instead of using these clamps, that they will they'll just toe in the screws into the wood itself, just at the towards the end of the wood, angle it, and then go down at an angle just to keep that down, which is fine. Most of the time, people are going to trim off the edges anyway, either square them up or hit that desired thickness that they're looking for. My goal is always just to keep them as thick as possible. So yeah, that's solid. So let's run this again before we have more issues with the internet. All right. Well, let's get this thing pulled out and see what it looks like. Feels really good. Super smooth. All right. Yeah, not too bad. Maybe 15 minutes total. and to get both sides, flatten, and we do sand to. We got 120 grit on there right now. Let's see. So we started out, 1.5 inches, maybe, well, a little bit less, 1 3/8, 7/16 maybe. And we're 1 1/16. So I would just advertise it as 1 inch, maybe heavy. But yeah, this thing looks great. Let's see what the overall dimensions. It's going to be 35.5 inches long. 11 and 1/4, and then 12.5 down here at the bottom. So not too bad. Get it, listed. Website. If it's something, I mean, this is really pretty looking cherry. This looks really, really good. All right, we're going to grab some longer stuff here. Now, depending on how much movement this has, determines whether I'm going to, cut it down just to keep as much thickness as possible. If stuff comes out of the kiln and it has a lot of warp and twist to it, you got to cut it short to keep it keep it thick. That's why we always tell people if you're gonna start slabbing wood or have something cut for you, and if your end goal is to have like a 2-inch thick tabletop, cut that thing at like 2.5, maybe 3 inches, depending on what the species is. This isn't actually too bad. There's a little bit of movement. So we are going to lose probably a 1/4 inch or so off the top, but charcuterie stock, right? So the goal is not to keep it at 6/4. The goal is to is usually at 1 inch. We used to do a lot of cutting boards for closing gifts for real estate agents. And the number one question I always got is like, you have to go as thick? Can you go like 3/4 of an inch or 1/2 inch thick? So 1 inch is really good for a board. And sometimes these things come from the mill a little heavy. Like we ask for 1.5 inches, and this one's like 1 5/8. Sometimes these things will be like 1 3/4 or 2 inches and whatnot. Yeah, cherry is it's very pretty stuff. We actually our shelves that we did in our kitchen, they're all made from cherry as well, and I think it did a really good job matching the cabinetry that we have. But it's pretty stuff. So I will shim this thing a little bit. My handy shims here. Right. We don't have to do much. We're just trying to keep it from moving too much and bouncing around as the planer head goes over it. But like I said, underneath here in the middle, we're going to have to go thicker because it did want to move on us. Let's see. We might get one down here. I need a little thicker. Sometimes this can be like the most time sensitive process, or the time sink, depending on how bad it is. I've had some of these that I've actually had to use my my chainsaw wedges, and we'd had to get like a scrap of wood just to get this thing to balance out, so we could salvage as much as possible. All right, let's move this thing back. All right. Okay. All right, couple down here. Oh, let's try and get a fresh hole. Wants to walk on us a little bit. It's all right. Get it locked down. You gotta be careful too. I don't want to go too high with these hold downs, because if we have to go a little bit lower than I would anticipate, these things become missiles coming off that power head. Okay, one more and we'll cinch it all down. Let's see, make sure these things are in there good. If they're not, sometimes when the cutter head gets to the center, it'll start bouncing on me. So the best you can do is really just wedge it and try to keep it just a little bit of pressure. You don't want to lift it up, because then whenever you take it out of the hold downs, the slab will move on you. Let me go check the dust collection here. The bag's not full, but it's getting there. It's about halfway. Definitely have to change it after this slab, maybe even after this side. All right. We're having issues again with the internet out here. Sure, it might be high enough. Let's run it and see. Nope. Okay. All right. Get this thing lined up. We're going to do one more turn, and now we'll go ahead and get it started. And let's open it up and see what this grain looks like. All right. Well, this side's done. It's nice when these slabs are, flat where you or narrow where you can take one pass, knock the whole thing out. Wow. This thing had some movement to it, so we'll see how this thing's going to flatten out. Yeah, some of these like to move after as you're flattening them. This one's pretty significant. Typically, you see if it's not dry, but these things are single digits. I think that I think what it is that these were branches off of a tree. And I've seen branches have a lot of tension in them, even after they dry. So I'm gonna blow all this stuff off, clean this up so we can get this thing locked down again. Okay. Yeah. So in a case where it wants to move again, so I'll lock it down the best I can. I may even flip it after this side's done and then do one more pass. So kind of side A, flip it, do side B 100%, flip it back, and then finish side A. And if you know that that's going to happen, you can, as long as you got enough surface area, you don't have to flatten the first side to 100%. Just throw a little wedge in here, not much. But yeah, that's another trick to keep as much thickness as possible whenever you're flattening. So. Let's see for that one. All right, just a couple more passes, and this one will be done. We do have several more to get to. Whoop. But, so I'm going to toe this in just because it's kind of hard to find a spot. All right. All right, so we got this side towed in on one. I'm going to come back here, finish this hole down. And then we'll tow in this one back here again. All right, that's pretty good. It's tight, it's tight. All right, we'll flatten it, sand it. We'll see how much this thing has moved. Well, I can tell a lot. My goodness. This might not actually become unusable. This is like, we're going to have to put some on the sides here just to hold it down. So because of the tension that is in this slab, it's raised in the middle. So you can see how much it's moving here. But like I said, it's dry. Just a lot of tension. So this isn't for anybody just yet. Not pre-sold, so if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll find a use for it here. Yeah, buffering. All right, let's get a couple of screws. And then probably going to have to call it an end to this live stream. I'm not sure what's going on with the internet. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the internet here. I don't know if it's the distance from the shop to the house, or the crews were out here working on the pole. I think it was yesterday, so that could be something to do with it as well. But we'll run this one, and then I'll probably have to call it into the stream, do a little troubleshooting. Good grief, again? Okay. All right. Well, not sure what's going on with the stream. It's buffering like crazy.